All right, we are live. Let me see if I could switch this so it looks, so you have something better to look at. All right, hello, ladies and gentlemen. I have a video today, and I think these are very important videos because I really think our future is really going to be determined by our actions. And some people are liking the stray kittens, so I think I'll continue that while I can. This one we've named Leo, that one we've named Darwin, and the reason is he's born with thumbs. Both of his paws have a thumb, and there's another little kitten called Minnie who also has thumbs. So I think it's very interesting. And this right here is one that we just got fixed, so this way she'll have a happier life. We call her Patches. Beautiful cat, beautiful girl. But that's not what I'm here to talk about. I am talking about the fact of all the videos I've been making recently, how everything serves a purpose and happens for a reason. And like I said in the other videos, and I hope you'll watch them, we're in what I consider a spiritual war. It's probably why a lot of people are feeling a lot of emotions, even people that aren't really caring about what's going on in the world as far as what we're doing. There are plenty of people out there who are angry, who are frightened, who have a lot of emotions that we wouldn't have had a year ago. So for me, all things happen for a reason, and this is coming to a head. Now, a lot of my videos I've been talking about recently is talking about what's coming and how we could be seeing the end of an old system and trying to get into a new one. So the old system has to crumble, and those that are in charge of the old system are not going to just walk away and say, okay, let's start something new. Because, like, for example, if you're an oil company, you're not going to give up your lucrative $1 trillion business and give it to the solar people or the wind people or some kind of Tesla kind of energy. You're going to want to keep what you have so you don't lose it all. So I can understand, or what I call understand, why somebody would want to fight for what they believe in, even if it goes against the masses of people. Because everybody fights for what's theirs. It's just part of human nature. But the title of this video, and I have to correct the spelling I see is wrong, fight or flight. Well, we've been taught that all our lives, and for thousands of years now, our system, our society, our humanity was based on one of two options. If danger comes your way, you'll either fight it or you'll run from it. And for a long time, that is something that was necessary. But there has to come a point, if you want change, you have to learn a new way. Now, that doesn't mean, this is why I always say we don't need violence. Because you didn't need violence to go from a VCR to a Blu-ray disc player. It just happens that something better comes along which makes something older obsolete. Nobody has a 13-inch black and white TV anymore. We didn't have to throw the TVs out. We didn't have to burn them to the ground. We didn't have to murder the people that made them. We just had to make another product. And this is what I talk about when it comes to change and letting go of an old system. If you fight fire with fire, you create more fire. So I understand why people are angry, because it's very frustrating that somebody would try and rob your right to have your freedom and your free will. And your first response, our reptilian brain, our lower part of our brain, is teaching us the way we react to any situation is to fight it or run away from it. And that's why the world is reacting the way it is right now. Now, that old system is not working for us anymore. So we have to find another way. And that's why when I had that dream the other night, and if you haven't watched the video, I hope, again, you'll watch it. Not many people watch my videos, and that's okay. Because this is not going to be for everybody, and I want quality over quantity. But I had a dream where I was being not taken prisoner, but they said, if you want to rise up, you have to fly with us. And they were angelic beings that were kind, but they had dragon wings. And I did something in the dream that astonished them. In other words, I didn't try and fight them because they might have been intimidating to just grab you and take you up into the sky where I felt enlightened. Or I didn't try and run away. In the dream, I hugged them. And they were, in the dream, astonished by this reaction, basically saying that's never happened before. And they didn't know how to respond to it. Because if somebody tries to fight you, well, you know how to respond to that. You'll either run away from it or you'll fight back. But if you throw in something new, sometimes that's the key. We have been fighting wars and trying to protect ourselves through strength instead of realizing, because like I say, you need real eyes to realize that your heart, in other words, love, is truly always the answer. Now, I can understand why people will say, well, if we get rid of the old system, we need to lock them up, we need to execute them, we need this, that, and the other thing. Well, then how are we any different from them? If we are like another tribe that doesn't like that another tribe took over their village, and we come along and murder them and retake the tribe, well, then how are we any different? So there has to be another way, which means if we want to advance to another level, we need unconditional love, which means we replace the old system by just letting it go. We don't imprison people. We don't kill them, because then we're not any better than them. And then revenge seeks revenge, seeks revenge, seeks revenge. If somebody killed, if I had a daughter, for example, or a son, and somebody murdered them, and I was back in the days where revenge was a little bit more acceptable, and I went and killed somebody on the family side that murdered my children. Well, some of them may have had nothing to do with what the original person or persons did. They're going to want to seek revenge on me, and it's going to continue to be a vicious cycle. That's why for thousands of years we had an old system where it was based on war, occupation, division, which leads to nothing more than bitterness, anger, hatred, more wars, more poverty, more division, ruling classes. And it hasn't worked for us. So the idea is you have to think of life like technology. Again, we didn't need to burn VCRs. We didn't need to murder the people who created them. We just found something better and people gravitated to it. So there's a saying that says, lead by example. So if you are trying to say we need peace through war, then you are a person that is for war and against peace. Because it doesn't matter if you are righteous, you are still committing a crime against humanity. And that's why, if you even think about religion, what are they usually, when you think of Saint Michael, the guardian angel Michael, what does he usually have in his hand? He has a sword. Well, if you think about power, true power is not creating a weapon. It's creating a weapon and knowing never to use it, or never creating the weapon at all. Like they say, it takes a very intelligent person to create a nuclear bomb, but it takes a very wise person to realize why it should never be created. So true strength is not opposing your will on somebody else. It's knowing you have the power to do it and you choose not to. It's being better. So we have to find a better way. And if all you want is revenge, and all you want is war, and all you want is for other people to suffer, well, somebody is going to want that on you. And then you're just another tribe that took over somebody else's tribe, and you ended up being lost in the power and lust of authority. The idea is to be better, is to be different, is to come up with a new way. And that means instead of fighting each other, maybe we should start loving each other. Instead of fighting each other with words, maybe we need to allow people to have the freedoms, as long as they don't infringe on others, to voice their opinions instead of stifling words. So when I had that dream about what was duality, if you think about it, the yin-yang, an angel with demon wings, I didn't run from it. I didn't try and fight it. I embraced it with love. And what happened? They were shocked by it because they were not used to it. That's the better way, ladies and gentlemen. If you want revenge, you will continue down the path that the people in control want you to have. They want you to be in fear. They want you to be so angry you wish death on them. How are you any better if you want harm to come to those who harmed you? Aren't you the same? Isn't that the mirror reflection? The idea is to look at your reflection and see your true self. The way you react to things will expose who you truly are. And the beautiful thing is, once you can dig down, deep down into that and see that, you can have the choice to change it. And if we want a different world where we are not fleeing from danger and we are not fighting danger, we are saying that even monsters need to be hugged. Because maybe they're monsters because no one would ever give them the love that they were seeking. You ever notice when people are abused, well, they're left alone and abandoned, they're full of pain, they're full of anger, they stay away from people? Well, maybe if somebody came along and gave them a hug or gave them kindness. You know, it's like the whole Beauty and the Beast. He saw love. Somebody loved him for who he was, not for what he looked like. And what did that do? It soothed the beast. Maybe that's a sign that says, instead of fighting the beasts or running away from the beasts, maybe we need to understand why they are the way they are and find a way for all of us to get along. Because in an infinite universe with infinite possibilities, there is somewhere along the pathway of everything getting along. And we need to find a way to get there. But we cannot do it with hatred and revenge in our hearts. We cannot feel happy when somebody, maybe justifiably, got what you think they deserved. Because then you cannot be called a spiritual being if you get satisfaction in seeing somebody else being hurt. No matter the reason for it. Because if you put that condition, you cannot be unconditionally loved. So the idea is to walk away from the old system. Now, that's not going to stop somebody from being cruel. I'm not going to sit here and say, oh, you love somebody, they're going to be nice. Some people will be cruel. But you know what? Maybe if enough people stood up, instead of fighting bullies, they started trying to embrace them. And even if the bullies decided we're going to attack, maybe that might awaken people to see, wow, these people aren't fighting back. They're actually standing there allowing themselves to be abused even though they tried to issue love. There's something wrong with this issue. We need to change now. That's why there have been so many martyrs in the world throughout history, is they were willing to put themselves in harm's way to prove a point sometimes to further along the healing. Just think of religion itself. The whole basis of Christianity is when Jesus allowed himself, because he knew, he was foretold of his future, that he would have somebody that followed him betray him and he would be murdered. He could have changed it if he wanted to, but he chose to allow it to happen to show people there is another way. And that is why, after he got humiliated and beaten and nailed to a cross and then ultimately stabbed, left to die on the cross, he didn't curse them, he didn't wish them death. He said, "Forgive them, Father, for they know not what they do." So if anybody out there wants to be on my channel and preach religion, which is perfectly your right, are you following in what you believe in by the word of Jesus's actions? Because he had every right to be angry and seek revenge, but he chose not only to allow it to happen, knowing that one of his disciples would betray him and all the people would idly stand by. Yes, they got down on their knees in front of the cross to cry for him and pray for him, but how many of them tried to save him? And he still said, "Forgive them, Father, for they know not what they do." In other words, whether it was a real event or just a story, he was trying to say you need to find a loving way if you want to find the way. Is it any surprise that for thousands of years we decided to run away from problems or fight problems with our fists, that nothing has gotten better? Again, this is not popular because it's going against what you've been told all of your life and a belief system that's been around for thousands of years. But you see this kitten right here? See how they're always comfortable around me? This is a stray, wild, but yet they fall asleep in front of me because they know I will do them no harm. Because there is love in my heart for them. I'm not doing it to get profit. Because I don't make cat videos trying to exploit them. I could have easily made videos about a cat that has thumbs since it was a kitten and exploit that for my own personal gain. I chose not to do it because I didn't have that right to do that. It's a choice that I could have done, but I don't need to make money in that way. Now, that doesn't mean somebody else cannot do it, but my point is, if you keep following an old system, well, you're going to continually follow the trend, you'll be manipulated, and they'll make you have everything so violent, because maybe that's the true test. Maybe the reason why this world is getting so crazy right now is they want to see if you actually win the day and beat the bad person, will you love them and be better, or will you hate them and murder them, or put them in prison and be the same as they are? That's why Luke Skywalker from Star Wars did his very best to not become his father. And that's why the new Star Wars, they totally desecrated and pooped all over Luke Skywalker's legacy, because that one moment where he supposedly goes and wants to murder his nephew goes against everything he fought for. In other words, he joined that moment, he joined the dark side. It's very easy to join the dark side because it's very lucrative. It pays well. It has many people on your side. That's why the hero is the hero, because they stand alone. They fight for what's right despite what everybody else will not do or do the opposite of. So are you a true warrior? But we need to be different warriors. Warriors of the spirit, warriors of the heart, where we find a way to move past the old system and show that a new system can grow and everybody can be united and everybody can have. Or we can keep fighting for an old system where the few take advantage of the many. And that's what this fight is really about. But many people cannot sink to that level. I had to go through all of my pain recently and all the hardships so I can get to this place where this path was, learning and digging deep inside myself and saying we need to find a better way. We no longer fight. We no longer run. We love and we continue to love, or we lose our humanity. So this is a very unpopular thing because it's saying we need to let the old system fade away. We don't need to destroy it. We don't need to murder it. We don't need to scare people into making a different choice. We need to say, here's a better way. If you want it, it's here. If not, enjoy your suffering. Stop complaining. So I choose to take the better path. It's not an easy path. It's one that I've resisted a lot of times because when people were mean to me, I got angry. And how has that helped my life? It hasn't. And I realized yesterday when I made that other video about the whole depression thing, I wasn't even really depressed. I was just bored because we're not allowed to do anything right now. We're very restricted. And the idea is, because this is a spiritual war, they're trying to make us so angry that we are willing to burn down our own streets. You think that's helping us get closer, or you think it's spreading us further apart? So it's something for you to think about. 11 people are watching, 8 people thumbed it up. So almost everybody that's watching it thumbed it up. So it means it's a very unpopular thing. But if you want to hold on to the old system, then why are you complaining about how unfair it is for you? You're feeding the beast and wondering why it's eating you. So it's time to change. It's time to love. And if anybody that's religious says this is the devil or you're this or that, well, if the devil is all about love and unity, well, then we're on the wrong side if that's the case. I highly doubt that is the case, because it's easy to say, well, I murdered this person because of my God. Well, there are so many different gods that people believe in. Which one is right? And if they're all telling you that you have to kill and imprison and hurt the other group who has a different God than you, then that to me suggests evil is involved. It's your choice to make. I hope you make one that makes us take a better path. There's a reason why you probably don't own a VCR anymore. It's because you found something better and you didn't have to do anything destructive to get it. You just had to invent it. Time to get inventing. Thanks for listening, everybody. Always appreciate you, and have a wonderful day. And here's some synchronicity. I just looked. 11 people were watching. 9 people thumbed it up. Like I talk about in my videos, I see the number 11 and number 9 all the time. My birthday is November 9th. So when I just looked at it, and it just went down again to 11-9. So if that doesn't tell you mirror, mirror, reflection, at least it confirms to me that I'm on the right path. Where do you want to be? Thanks for listening. Have a great day.